Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Before we get started, I want to thank the Vasa Law Firm in Sweden and all my Patreon supporters for helping this channel grow. Please check out the links below for Patreon and for elonbits.com, where you can buy t-shirts like the It's Not About You t-shirt. But let's talk about why battery swap is stupid. Are you ready? Let's go!
You have the choice of a battery pack swap, which is faster than you can fill a gas tank.
Back in 2013, Tesla tried out a battery swap option with the Model S. They shot this video comparing the Model S using battery swap to a Mercedes filling up at a gas station to show that it was quicker. This wasn't really a real-world example, and the battery swaps in reality actually took closer to 7 minutes, which was still a lot quicker than a supercharge. But ultimately, Tesla decided this was not an effective way to go forward. More recently, the Chinese car company NIO has started a battery swap program in China. NIO is pinning its future success, at least in part, on this battery swap as supposedly a good way of replacing vehicle charging with a faster way of getting vehicles to a full charge. This battery swap station is large and probably costly. We don't know exactly how much, and this is part of the problem. Now there's a new battery startup in San Francisco called Ample. It is basically doing the same idea, a battery swap. Somehow, lots of people think this is a good idea. And you can see here, the idea is the vehicle drives in, battery swap is accomplished, vehicle drives out. It happens quicker, that's true, but this fails to see some of the significant problems with the battery swap concept.
One of the ways that Ample makes battery swapping safe is that we have these very small modular batteries. So rather than moving a battery that is multiple tons worth of cells, we just move these very small ones where they can be much more easily moved around without jostling.
So that's a little bit nonsensical. No significant EV that I'm aware of has multiple tons of cells in them. Tesla vehicles use battery cells that typically have better than 250 watt hours per kilogram in their energy density of their cells. So if you had 400 kilograms of battery cells in a Tesla, that would be a 100 kilowatt hour pack. So that 400 kilograms is far less than multiple tons. It's not even 1 ton. It's not even half a ton. And of course, a Model 3 or Model Y with a 75 kilowatt hour pack or a 54 kilowatt hour pack is even smaller in terms of weight. So there's no multiple ton problem here. And it makes you wonder, how much battery are they installing or swapping on these vehicles? It may be that these batteries don't hold a lot of miles and you get that much charge on a Model 3 or Model Y at a supercharger station in 5 minutes anyway. Let's talk about the problems with battery swap. First, the battery swap station costs a lot. We don't know exactly how much they cost, but I'm going to ballpark it and say for the price of one battery swap station, you can deploy 20 superchargers, 20 Tesla superchargers. Let's say the battery swap station completes the swap in 5 minutes, and it's able to do 12 vehicles an hour, right? Because 5 minutes, 12 times, that's an hour. 20 superchargers can charge more than 20 vehicles an hour, so you get more throughput in supercharger stations than you get in battery swap stations. Most likely the battery swap stations will not even manage to do 5 minutes because you have to get the vehicles in and out. Vehicles are going to be waiting to get in. So you may be looking at a smaller throughput like 10 vehicles an hour. And on the other hand, when you look at superchargers, if a supercharger is able to charge a vehicle pretty close to what it needs in a half hour, and you have 10 of them, you're able to get 20 vehicles through in an hour versus 10 on the swap station. Superchargers are a much more cost-effective way to achieve throughput, to getting more vehicles charged in less time. The other big problem with battery swap stations is batteries. We have a shortage of batteries. One of the challenges in producing more electric vehicles is we don't have enough batteries. In order to have a battery swap station system, you have to have extra batteries on hand to swap in and out with the existing vehicle's batteries, which means you need probably twice as many batteries, which means you can only make half as many vehicles. That is a very, very inefficient use of batteries because you're going to have batteries sitting there. Any battery that's sitting there in a swap station waiting to be swapped is a battery that could have been in a vehicle powering yet another EV on the roads. Until we get to a point where we have plenty of battery supply and there's no question about a shortage, then maybe battery swap would make a little more sense in that context. You still have the other problems. But even then, dubious, hard to see that this works. but for some reason this idea captivates people and it's been around for a long time. Elon and Tesla figured it out really quick. Other people just don't seem to get it. The third problem with battery swap is it ignores the latest advances in battery technology and vehicle technology, in particular structural pack. Tesla is moving from a world where you have battery cells and modules, modules and packs, packs and vehicles. Tesla is moving to a world of structural battery pack where the batteries themselves become part of the structure of the vehicle. This radically improves vehicle efficiency because you're saving a lot of weight, and it also makes the chassis more rigid, which Elon has explained in the past.
What we call it the structural battery, where the battery for the first time will have dual use. The battery will both have the use as an energy device and as structure. In the early days of aircraft, they would carry the fuel tanks as cargo. So the fuel tanks actually were quite difficult to carry. They were like basically worse than cargo. You had to kind of bolt them down. It was very difficult. And then somebody said, hey, what if we just make the wing tanks, what if we just make the fuel tank in wing shape? So all modern airplanes, the fuel tank, your wing is just a fuel tank in wing shape. This is absolutely the way to do it. And then the fuel tank serves as dual structure, and it's no longer cargo. It's fundamental to the structure of the aircraft. This was a major breakthrough. We're doing the same for cars. Effectively, the non-cell portion of the battery has negative mass. So we save so much mass in the rest of the vehicle. We save more mass in the rest of the vehicle than the non-cell portion of the battery. So it's like, well, how do you really minimize the mass of a battery? Make it negative. Make the battery non-cell portion of the battery pack negative. It also allows us to pack the cells more densely because we do not have intermediate structure in the battery pack. So instead of having these like supports and stabilizers and stringers and structural elements in the battery, we now have a lot more space in the battery because the pack itself is structural. Instead of having just a filler that is a flame retardant, which is currently what is in the 3NY battery packs, we have a filler that is a structural adhesive, as well as flame retardant. So it effectively glues the cells to the top and bottom sheet. And this allows you to do shear transfer between the upper and lower sheet. This gives you incredible stiffness, and it's really the way that any super fast thing works is you create basically a honeycomb sandwich with two face sheets. This is actually even better than what aircraft do, because aircraft do not do this. They can't do this because fuel is liquid. So in our case, the batteries are solid. So we can actually use the steel shell case of the battery to transfer shear from the upper and lower face sheet, which makes for an incredibly stiff structure, even stiffer than a regular car. So it improves the mass efficiency of the battery. It also allows us to to move the cells closer to the center of the car, because we don't have the in the top one we've got that sort of all the supports and stuff. So the volumetric efficiency of the structural pack is much better than a non-structural pack, and we actually bring the cells closer to the center, and because they're closer to the center, it reduces the probability of a side impact potentially contacting the cells, because it has to go, any kind of side impact has to go further in order to reach the cells. It also improves what's called the polar moment of inertia, which is that you can think of like when there's ice skater, arms out or arms in. Arms in, you rotate faster. So if you can bring things closer to the center, you reduce the polar moment of inertia, and that means the car maneuvers better. It just feels better. You don't want to know why, but it just feels more agile.
If you do battery swap, you can't have structural pack. Your vehicles can't be as efficient. Your vehicles can't be as dynamic. They won't have the same handling characteristics. You're really limiting your ability to make more efficient, better, higher performance, all kinds of things that you want in an electric vehicle. You've limited yourself and prevented yourself from achieving the things that Tesla laid out in Battery Day as the way forward to make electric vehicles more efficient and better for consumers, better for drivers, better for people, better for humanity. So that's 3 reasons why battery swap stations are stupid. If you like this video, please check out my other videos. And please support this channel on Patreon, links below. Check out the t-shirts, links below, elonbits.com. Of course, please subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, smash the like button, and thank you so much for watching.